It is time for Better Retirement with Citizen Advisory Group. Jeff has joined us today. We're going to talk about the 5 biggest retirement mistakes to avoid. In my case, that may be 10, but we're only going to discuss 5 today. Mine wouldn't be to avoid. Mine would be the 10 I'm making right now.
Well.
But let's talk about the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid. The first would be not maximizing your retirement contributions.
Well, you know, we're in an interesting age now where when retirement used to be, you'd have Social Security and probably a pension from work, and maybe you had a few dollars stored away, but that would be how retirement worked. Your company kind of let you, took care of you the rest of your life. But now, the problem is on us. We have to save into these 401k plans. I always say this is the 401 chaos generation because that's what it's going to really be looking like, I think, because a lot of us have undersaved. And so we have to maximize the plans, in particular, as we get closer to retirement. You know, it's tricky when we're young with families and mortgages and all the different things going on, but someday, hopefully, maybe our kids have moved out and maybe our bills have slightly changed. And,
I'll keep my fingers crossed for that.
Well, one's going to college.
Yes,
right?
one.
So getting rid of one right now, but maybe the bills go up with college. But and so now we have a time where maybe we can start saving more. In particular, we have to look at the matches that are coming from our companies. And so a lot of companies will match your contributions. But as we get older, we also have what's called a catch-up provision, which allows us to add more into our plans, both 401k and 403b plans, as well as your IRA plans. And so we want to try to get as much money as we possibly can. And if we don't do that, we're missing the opportunity for tax deferral and other things.
And we definitely need to make sure that if our company is matching what we're putting in our 401k, we need to be taking that full percentage, whatever it is, we need to be putting that much in it for sure.
At minimum, right?
Yes.
So that's a free money that companies are giving us, and some employees maybe don't understand that, but there's a lot of times a 3% match. So if I put 3% of my wages in, they put 3%. So they're doubling what I'm putting in. So very, very important.
Well, the next one is retiring early or taking Social Security too soon.
Well, that's the big elephant in the room, Social Security. There's so many different ways to elect for Social Security, very complicated, and many, many different rules. And so many people think retirement equals Social Security. I retire, I elect Social Security. That's not quite the case because of all the different planning strategies that are out there. There's spousal benefits, there's widow's benefits. I just had a client in this morning who experienced a tragedy in March. Her ex-husband passed away in an accident, and because of her age and because of his situation, even though it's her ex-husband, she's now getting a spousal benefit from Social Security. So there's all these different ways to elect Social Security, plus delaying means more. The longer we wait, the more we get. And so it's such a complicated situation with Social Security, so many different ways to elect, but it's important that there's a plan behind it, and it's not just a default, I retire and take Social Security.
You definitely need to think about it, not just say, oh, this is the age that you take it, and so just need to do it.
You know, one of the things that we tell people is, you know, your Social Security asset is one of your largest financial assets you have. And so you must plan it just like you plan any other 401k or IRA, any type of stock. It should have the same level of care that you provide with all those other pieces.
Absolutely. Now, the third mistake that we want to avoid is beware of mistakes when taking your required minimum distributions.
Yes, the RMD, required minimum distributions. You know, it's funny, IRAs have so many rules. We can't touch them until they're 59 and a half.
Right.
But then at 70 and a half, we're required to start pulling some money out per year. This is the most severe penalty in the tax code. So if we miss that required minimum distribution and we don't take what we're supposed to, they will require us to pay 50% penalty on that withdrawal. Plus, you'll have to pay full income tax. So let's say I was supposed to take $2,000. If I'm supposed to do that and I didn't, they're going to make me pay tax on $2,000 plus a $1,000 penalty.
That's a bit of a steep number there.
That hurts, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
That hurts. And so we need to be very clear of understanding which accounts need to be added for that. There's different ways we can take required distributions. There needs to be a plan for that, but it certainly can't be missed because the penalty's steep.
Absolutely. Don't make the wrong rollover moves when you're moving retirement funds.
This is a biggie because we get to train with a gentleman by Ed Slott, and he's considered America's IRA expert. He's a CPA that trains financial advisors. He has a great website for IRA called IRAhelp.com, so it's pretty easy to remember. member, IRAhelp.com. And the way he relates it is it's like a tube of toothpaste. Once something comes out, we can't get it back in, and so we have to make sure we're following the rules. There was a significant rule change last year about rollovers. In the past, we could do one rollover per year, and a rollover is when we get the money, we have 60 days to get it back into an account without paying tax. We could do one a year previously for each account, for each dollar, so to speak. Well, the IRS was having trouble keeping track of all that and which dollar was rolled and which wasn't, so now they've made it one rollover per year. And so sometimes we may forget, or we might change financial advisors, or something might happen and everyone doesn't know the details, and now we do a second rollover.
Oops.
If that happens, fully taxable, and we lose out on the tax deferral of that account.
That's a problem. Finally, remember that retirement needs to be tax efficient.
You know, it's, again, Ed Slott taught me one thing the very first time I met him. He said, think of your IRA or 401k balance. When you think of that balance on your statement, it's actually not your money. Only some of it's your money because it's not yours until you get it out and pay the tax. And so we're seeing those numbers. Well, how are we going to get those monies out? How are we going to, again, Social Security is another tax efficient play. How do you combine all these pieces so that you pay the least amount of tax so that you have more money in your pocket in retirement?
Good advice. Don't forget, you guys have financial seminars coming up in June. These are great ways for people to get more information. Very educational. Nobody's trying to sell them anything. No,
this is really just, you know, talking about some of these topics we're talking about. We have Social Security specific seminars, and the dates there are on the screen in June. And then we have just general retirement planning seminars that talk about some of these issues to make sure that you're well equipped to live the retirement journey of your dreams, which is what our company's mission is all about. That's right. That's what we all want to do. Make sure you RSVP. It does involve dinner, so they need to know you're coming. You can do that by going to citizenadvisory.com or give them a call. As always, thanks for the great advice on better retirement. I just feel so much more knowledgeable every time you're here. We'll be right back on Better Living.